The Maestro is coming, and he has 12 items that he's showing to us in his trophy case. Now, we know that if we look at Maestro, he does that. He's a collector. He takes trophies from those that he has defeated. But did you notice that these items are specifically from our game, Marvel Strike Force? These are assets that we found in the game. So what 12 items are they? Where do they come from? And what is the significance of this character? We can see some of the assets here. I'm sure you've seen these as well as some other pictures that are floating around, but we're going to concentrate on everything that we see in this image. We're going to trace it back to the game. Let's go take a look. Probably the most noticeable item there is the Infinity Gauntlet that we see here. Thanos is wielding. The Infinity Gauntlet is an insanely strong artifact. So how could it be that the Maestro could take it from Thanos? Maybe he just beat him because Thanos is only gear tier 15, but there is another option as well. We have our Ultron here from the What If series, and if we don't recall, we have Infinity Gems are embedded in his chest. Obviously, that made him supremely powerful, but Marvel did give us a clarification. If you take Infinity Gems outside of their home dimension, they don't have the same power, right? It's just something to keep things in check so someone can't, again, grab the Infinity Gauntlet and literally dominate the multiverse. It was mentioned that Ultron was using the Infinity Gems just as a battery. That's what kept him super strong and in fighting shape. And we know that Battleworld is a collection of broken dimensions, so it's possible that whoever was wielding the Infinity Gauntlet, they were supreme in their realm, but when they crossed over to face the Baron of Dystopia, i.e. the Maestro, maybe they lost a lot of that power, and the Maestro was simply able to overcome them that way. We also see the Maestro wielding 2 Asgardian hammers. He has Stormbreaker here that belongs to Beta Ray Bill. We also have this version of Stormbreaker wielded by Thor Infinity War. Comic book nerds will know that this actual hammer is Bjorn. But in the lore of Marvel Strike Force, the Maestro is literally wielding 2 different versions of Stormbreaker. Now, how can he do that? The hammers can only be wielded by someone who is worthy. Well, we need to keep in mind that maybe our version of worthy might be a little different than Marvel. The wielder needs to 100% believe that what they are doing is right. There can't be any doubt in their mind. They can't have any guilt. And that's the Maestro. He believes wholeheartedly that what he is doing is correct. He's a villain, but he believes that he's doing everything to protect his people in Dystopia from the other barons and the other nemesis that we find throughout Battleworld. That, at least in my opinion, is why he can effortlessly wield both versions of these hammers. In the picture, we also saw the Silver Surfer's board. Now, how could he get that from him? Easy. If we remember the MCU, we saw the speed and ferociousness of the Hulk. The Maestro is a much stronger and much more intelligent Hulk. Perhaps a thunderclap, or perhaps Silver Surfer simply wasn't expecting the speed that his opponent would be on him, and he lost the matchup. Item number 4 is Odin's Spear Gungnir. How could he wrest this away from the Allfather himself? Well, I think it just shows you the absolute power that Maestro must have. There are many times in Marvel Comics where the Hulk has got enough physical strength, he's gotten angry enough to challenge some of the strongest individuals in the Marvel lore. So if he simply is now walking around, he learns how to harness that, and he's simply walking around at that level at all times, we can see how Odin himself might not have stood a chance. Item number 5 is one of the arms of Dr. Octopus, and I think that symbolizes 2 things. One, in terms of physical strength, there is a story in Marvel Comics where Dr. Octopus got his arms laced with adamantium. With adamantium arms, he was able to physically confront the Hulk one-on-one. He was able to beat him in a fist fight. A very interesting storyline. You should check it out. Of course, the Hulk comes back later on and evens the score. But I think what's being shown here is not just a physical battle, but a mental one, a battle of intelligence. See, the Maestro possesses the full might of the strongest Hulk available, while at the same time wielding the intelligence of Bruce Banner. So I believe that what's being implicated with the arms of Dr. Octopus is we're showing that not only was he physically capable, but he was more intelligent than Otto Octavius, and he wanted to put that on display. Item number 6 is the arm of the Winter Soldier. We see it sitting there on the right side of the Maestro, and it does indeed have the red star there from Bucky Barnes. It is a metal arm with the red star of Bucky Barnes, and that's not all. To Maestro's immediate left, we see Captain America's shield. And again, I think that this is very, very significant. By having both relics of Bucky and Captain America, the Maestro Hulk shows that he is also, again, he's flexing his intelligence, right? We have two things that are symbolic, but at the same time, he's flexing his intelligence. Both of these individuals are very seasoned tactical geniuses when it comes to war and the art of combat. So having these individuals as relics demonstrates once again, Maestro is not simply just the most strongest creature out there. The Maestro's thinking ability, his tactical ability, his intelligence exceeds even the most seasoned veterans of his time. Resting on Odin's spear, there are two pieces of Iron Man armor. Now, I initially thought that they might have been two separate versions of Iron Man since we have so many in the game, but it looks like they're one in the same. If we look at Iron Man here on the side and we see just the decoration where like kind of the ear is, where that would be, that's the same that we see in the picture with Maestro. So that is indeed this Iron Man helmet. In addition, when looking from the front, we look at the arc reactor there in his chest. We drop down and on either side, there are those two gold rectangles. Right? You see those two gold rectangles there, and then right there at his hips as well. Same thing, those two gold rectangles at his hips. That matches up with this type of armor. That's what we see there. So that is indeed the armor that we have here. Under the Maestro's boot, we see the helmet of Cain Marko, the Juggernaut. The Hulk and the Juggernaut have had a long-standing feud as to which one of them is indeed the strongest. By putting that helmet on display, Maestro was showing who indeed was the victor overall. I believe that the arm bracers that the Maestro is wielding does indeed belong to our beloved Colossus. That's pretty brutal if that's the case. But hey, once again, he's demonstrating his superior might against another individual who is said to be one of the strongest in existence. And if we look where the Maestro's throne is, I believe it is a hollowed out head of a Sentinel. Again, this would fit. Sentinels are supposed to adapt to the challenge in order to take it out. But the Maestro is showing, hey, there's no way you can keep up with me. For my 12th item, I was really honed in on a Maestro's sash. In many of his pictures, he does not have one. He does sometimes. So I was torn between, is that sash representative of something or is it just part of the artwork? And I settled on the fact that perhaps it is simply just part of the artwork. Like I said, in most cases, he doesn't have that sash that's around his waist. So I was thinking perhaps I was looking for that blue, that bluish red. I couldn't find anything. I was thinking, well, maybe could it perhaps be the cape of Ultimus here demonstrating his superiority over him? Or could it be the cape of Magneto? I really couldn't find anything that was the appropriate color, that was the appropriate hue in any of the characters in Marvel Strike Force. It's kind of a magenta, right? Reddish sash that the Maestro has. So, hey, we're just going to go with the fact that it's probably just part of the costume. I'm reading into it unless you have another idea. Look, did I miss anything? Did I miss anything from the picture? Am I off on this? Does that sash actually have a meaning? I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. I'd love to see what you have to say in the comments below. And hopefully by the time you're looking at this video, we can see the Maestro in game. If you haven't seen this video right here, please check it out. It's legit.